Hey friends, I made a baked Alaska for dessert the other night and I'm going to show you how I made it. How fun is this? We're going to start by taking a glass bowl. I believe this is a 2.5 or 3-quart bowl. It is rather small because we are just doing a half a gallon of ice cream. Now we're going to line this with some cling wrap, and don't skip this step because this is what's going to make it easy to get this out of the bowl. So line that and make sure you have a little extra hanging off the sides because that's what's going to cover it up in the freezer overnight. Then take your favorite ice cream. I chose to do a Neapolitan because I feel like that would look the best cut open in all sorts of different colors. I have also seen people do a vanilla with some raspberry sorbet, and that looked pretty as well. And I'll speed this up, but what I did was make sure your ice cream is a little bit soft, and then I just scooped all those scoops and I tried to keep them all the same color. So like 1 scoop of pink, 1 scoop of white, 1 scoop of chocolate, just to make sure that they kept their color. Then halfway through I pressed it down with a spoon, and then I scooped all the rest of those on top and then pressed that down with a spoon as well. Now from here, you could technically bake your own cake, but I chose to buy this pound cake and add that instead. It made it nice and easy and it was a great flavor. Now I just cut this in about inch slices or maybe a little bit more, and we're just going to cover the ice cream just like a jigsaw puzzle. You want to make sure the whole bottom is covered in this cake. So I just sliced it and then laid these on and then made sure that every bit of that ice cream was covered with this cake. And you can see here, I just used my knife in order to make it like a jigsaw puzzle. Now for all of 2023, I made a popular state meal every week for the whole year alphabetically. And now for 2024, I'm making desserts, popular state desserts. So it just so happens this is the second week of the year and I am making the popular state dessert for Alaska, which is Baked Alaska. This has been so much fun. I have learned so much over the last year and even just these last 2 weeks making the desserts. Now we're going to set this aside and we're going to use that extra saran wrap that we had pulled over the side, and we're going to put that down on this cake and push it really hard so we make sure there's no spaces in that ice cream. And then we're going to pop this in the freezer overnight. Look at all those beautiful alternating colors so far. Now here it is the next day and we're going to make the frosting. I'm going to make a Swiss meringue to frost this with. Now it just so happens that last week the state of Alabama was our first state cake and I made the Lane cake, and that had a Italian meringue. So this was interesting to try now the Swiss meringue. I started with 3 egg yolks and then I made a double boiler on the stove, which is just a pan with some water in it that's boiling, a heat-proof container on top, which is this glass bowl, 3 egg yolks, 3/4 cup of sugar, a pinch of cream of tartar, and a dash of salt, and then I just whisk this all together. You want to keep on whisking this in the bowl until it reaches 160 degrees, and that took about 5 or 6 minutes for me. And you can see as you whisk it, it gets lighter and lighter. You want to make sure that you keep scraping the sides down so all of that sugar gets fully combined in there. Now, once that reaches 160 degrees, we're going to take it off the heat. We're going to start mixing it with our electric mixer on low, increase to medium, and then mix it on high for about 5 to 8 minutes or until this is stiff peaks. And you can see how nice and glossy and white that becomes. And we're going to pull our cake out of the freezer and we're going to frost this up. But first, let's get it out of the bowl. Use that saran wrap, grip it, and just yank it out of there, and it will come out nicely. And just look at all those colors. I love how the Neapolitan turned out with this baked Alaska. Then we're just going to turn this upside down onto our plate, and then we'll get to frosting. Now this Swiss meringue is very easy to work with because it is so sticky. It really just clings to itself. So I'll speed this up, but I just took that and frosted all over the cake. Again, so easy to work with. And it's so light and white and pretty. And then once I had this cake fully covered, then I went back in and slowly did these little circles all around it. You can do any kind of design you want to do. Just remember that you're going to torch this, so any designs are going to show even more, so you want it to look as pretty as possible. This part was so much fun for me. Now we're going to get out our torch. And I have to admit that I have not used a torch very often, so this was so fun. And we're just going to kind of darken this up a little bit. Now you can definitely put this in the oven at 500 degrees for this same effect, but I think the torch was just so much more fun. So I just, I'll speed this up also. I just torched this whole thing to make it all pretty, and then you can see all those little swirls in there. What a fun dessert. Now I'm going to cut a few slices because the way I did this with the Neapolitan ice cream, honestly, every slice is going to look a little bit different, and I really loved that about this cake. You can see the first one that comes out, lots of strawberry ice cream in that one, and again, everyone's going to look so much different. Who doesn't like ice cream, fluffy marshmallow flavored meringue, and some cake? I mean, this is the perfect dessert. It was just so, so good. A great, great state food. I'm so glad I made this. It was so much fun. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Come along with us on this journey in 2024 to make a popular state dessert each week for every state alphabetically. Thank you guys so much for watching.